Okay, going live here. The situation is have everyone sick this weekend as far as students go, and I thought, well, let me go on to YouTube and see if anybody has any questions. Also share what I've been kind of going over myself in my not only lessons with students, but what I've just started to appreciate or go back and listen to and so forth. So just want to make sure the sound is okay. All right. Let me know in the comments if the sound is horrible or doable. I want to give a shout out to Elgato. This is their new Facecam Pro 4K and 60 frames per second. So you should see me in a really good quality there. I have to toy around with the colorization of it. It sometimes comes in a little yellow compared to the above cams and the feed cams there. All right, so with that being said, I've kind of gone back because they use the song in the Ted Lasso trailer for season 3. Big fan, big fan. On the You Can't Always Get What You Want by the Rolling Stones. And I've listened to the song 100 times. Never really sat and thought about it much. But what's cool is if you listen to the majority of the groove, it sounds like it's just a normal kind of like a ghost note pattern. If you didn't know any better, you'd kind of just think that he was doing with a little bit of sass to it. But if you listen to the tail end of it, well, again, we'll talk about the first part of it first. It's great because it's actually just simple. It's 1, 2, 3. Well, that's just your normal kind of ghosty, backbeaty. The actual ghost note's only on the of 2. All right. But if you look at beat 3 and beyond, it follows kind of like a Songo pattern with the left hand. Now, if you don't know about Songo, it's an Afro-Cuban style of music that a lot of 70s funk stole from a little bit. So if just to kind of drive home on a Songo a little bit, this is a Songo. Got that great left hand. 1 and 2 E All right. Now, if you think about You Can't Always Get What You Want by the Stones, he has that same snare drum pattern at the end. So 3 and 4 E a 1, 3 and 4 E a 1, 3 and 4 E a 1. So the Songo had kind of a quarter note vibe on the hi-hat. Well, if we apply it to his eighth notes, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 E a 3, 1 and 2 E a 3, 1 and 2 3 and 4 E a 1, 2 3 and 4 E a 1, 2 a 3 and 4 E a 1, 2. Simple 1 and 3 on the bass drum, 1 and 2 a 3 and 4 E, 1 2 3 and 4 E, 1 2 a 3 and 4 E. The You Can't Always Get What You Want Rolling Stones vibe starts to pop out way more suddenly. Now, buyer beware, there's a shaker in the background. They did a lot of overdubs with congos, tambourines, and shakers. So you hear an extra little shuffled 16th note pulse in the background coming from the shakers. Even though his hi-hat for the most part is just eighth notes. I applied those shuffled 16th notes to my right hand, surely not what Charlie Watts is doing, but you get closer to what the studio vibe is of not only his drums, but that shaker, maraca kind of vibe is in the background. So listen to that shuffled 16th notes against that wonderful bass and snare pattern. Have to admit that is a very great, very cool pocket that you can create if you were to ever cover that song, okay? And like I said, I fell back in love with the song because they're using it in the Ted Lasso trailer. But yeah, it's got that great little shuffle vibe. Even his fills. Has that very shuffly, mostly broken 16th notes that are shuffled. So anything that falls on an E and an are shuffled. Here's straight 16ths. Doesn't fit the mold, but if you lag the left on the E's and the U's, 1, E, a, 2, E, and a. Start to get the compass of what the gist of the song is, okay? Again, it's got a very cool swing to it, all right? Especially if you enhance it with those shuffled 16th notes. Like I said, I believe in most of the recording, he's just doing 8th notes. But you get that 16th note on top of it. So yeah, you can't always get what you want by the Rolling Stones, Charlie Watts. If you check out live footage of him, he's kind of got more of the Stevie Wonder, Superstition kind of broken 16th notes in there. So instead of doing it now with 8th notes or the constant shuffled 16th notes, take a listen to it if I did that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Yeah, it sounds okay. I kind of like the vibe of it, keeping all the 16th notes intact. But if you were to try to do that broken 16th notes, you'll see him live. There's a couple live footages of him doing it, where he's actually on the rod. And let's face it, 1 and 2 and 3 is basically the swing pattern, you know, just counted in a different way, but it is still just. Keeping your traditional 2 and 4 in there, but if I took that away. Sounds really good if you pump eighth notes. One, two, a 3 and 4 E, a 1, 2, a 3 and 4 E, a 1, 2, 3 and 4 E, a 1, 2, 3 and 4 E. All right. So far you can do it with the eighth notes. 2, a 3 and 4 E, a 1, 2, a 3 and 4 E, a 1. You could do it with the consonant shuffled 16th notes, my personal favorite. Or that broken 16th notes, which gives a subliminal jazz pattern to it. So yeah, there's some great variations in there. Now, he's not 24/7 in that song doing that pattern. I'm just saying there's the majority of the pattern. You do hear him occasionally just go back to a normal ghost note pattern with a normal backbeat of 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 E, 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 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 E, 1, 2, 3 and now with the 16th notes. Yeah, so that's what I've been digging on lately is the revisiting the You Can't Always Get What You Want by the Rolling Stones. And again, it's all based off that easy ghost note pattern in the front of the 4/4 pattern, but the back half has that influence of that Songo pattern. Now I'm playing that a little bit more shuffled, but yeah, you hear that left hand pattern kind of in that pattern. So very cool vibe on the Charlie Watts. You Can't Always Get What You Want. Okay, I've been revisiting a lot of R&B, especially Bill Withers. If you haven't visited Bill Withers Used Me, that is the funkiest thing ever. And what's cool is it does have a little bit of Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song built into it. You hear a little bit of the 1 and a 2, a 3 and a 4, especially when the most of the band drops out and it's just the drums and him on vocals. You hear that kind of vibe. you start to hear the whole kind of hidden in there, you know. But what a great 16th note R&B kind of drive. Especially the barks on the E of beat 3 and 4 of that 2-bar loop at the end of the 2-bar loop. Very cool thing. So again, just to kind of go over what I've been kind of revisiting and listening to is the Rolling Stones, You Can't Always Get What You Want, and then the Bill Withers. And again, there's no fills in the song. There really is just these constant little variations of the same 2 bars, but there's so many little variables on the bass drum. For the most part, you know, the left hand has got the hits on 2 and 4 with the and E. 1, 2, E, built in there. And again, it's peppered in there. It's not constant. It's usually in the middle of the measures. And it's just kind of peppered there. But let's face it, most of it is on the rims, the rim knocks, all right, as well as the hi-hat, okay? And just to talk about the rim knocks for a second, most of the time, if the song is predominantly rim knocks, let's face it, you could use the back of the stick. You'll have a sweeter, sweet spot of pitch there. But let's face it, that's okay. You just got to find, it's a narrower field of sweet spot. So that sounds pretty good and bright. It's too warm. Pretty good. Pretty dead. So you can use a rim knock with the typical tip of the stick pointing out. You just have a narrow sweet spot. All right, that sweet spot. I generally think that if your pinch is landing in the center of the drum and you're pivoting from kind of an A-frame of your palms down and the butt of the stick, so they're laid down flat on there, you're going to get a pretty decent sound. But that's a very cool thing to make sure you have sounding consistent, you know, and that you don't drift into that other area. But if you take the same pattern, the used me pattern, and just do it on the real on the snare with ghost notes on all the E's and U's. That sounds just as good. You can color it up even more. Go to the ride. So we had the original. We can do it with the ghost notes. Okay, and by buyer beware if you don't know what a ghost note is. It's just when you play a note softer than the rest. The counterpoint is an accent where you play it louder than the rest. All right, so it just depends on where your baseline level of volume is. Accents go above it, ghost notes go below it. To me, the bigger the range of the ghost note and the accent, the better the groove. It's kind of the David Gribaldi approach. You know, you can apply physics to it as well. Ghost notes are here, accents are there, but they don't necessarily. You can, you know, rim shot it and not have to hit it so hard and, you know, Indiana Jones whip it there. All right, so, and then you can do it on the ride with the ghost notes. Now, check it out. You should be able to play a game when you're a versatile drummer of here's a song and a groove that's completely straight eighth notes, straight 16th notes. There's no shuffle to it. And be able to turn the switch and go, okay, if the predominant vibe is 16th notes, which that is, can you shuffle suddenly the 16th notes? Okay, so here it was originally. No open hi-hats, but that was the vibe. All right, now here's the same groove, almost the same tempo. Just now I'm harshening? Sure. I'm getting into an extreme shuffle with it. So, a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Same groove, just extremely different in feel because I've just turned on that switch of shuffling anything that was on an E and an further back. So now it's hugging the downbeats and the upbeats of the 1 and the and. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. There's your straight 16th notes. Here's your shuffled 16th notes. 1 E a 2 E a 3 E a 4 E a 1 E a 2 E a 3 E a 4 and 1 and 2. It's a cool vibe, and it's a cool trick to, it's not even a trick, it's super practical to be able to play a groove that was once upon a time straight and now shuffled, okay? But then it's good to be able to do just the opposite. Here's something that used to be shuffled, and now can I straighten it out, okay? And again, it opens up your vocabulary quite a bit, so it's super, super, super practical, okay? So, again, this was just kind of a fun little live stream here of me just demoing some of the things that I'm into currently. That's one of a billion things I'm currently into. Just to kill a little time. I'm unfortunately a lot of people are out sick. Students are out sick. 'Tis the season, and wishing everybody well. But yeah, I'll try to do some more Q&As and demos here in the future. I've been kind of not posting a lot on YouTube. It's kind of a love and hate relationship I have with YouTube. I've gotten wonderful students from my past YouTube videos. But again, it's a love and hate. I like doing them, but I almost don't want to contribute to the cherry picking of everybody's education here. I think my one little, issue here lately, I don't want to say issue, but problem I have with students currently in this day and age here versus what it was 20 years ago even 10 years ago or even 5 years ago is, people are kind of cherry picking their items and not going through a systematic way of learning and building up a vocabulary. And I'm not going to say neither one is right or wrong, just I prescribe to the fact that you want to build up a foundation and build upon it so that your skill set becomes very vast and not just so limited to just a little narrow field, okay? You can get a lot of tips from YouTube, but any student I've had currently or in the past that have said, oh, I have taken lessons, but they were on YouTube videos, well, that's not really lessons, So it was like, that's why I've pulled back a little bit from YouTube, and you can like comment, I'm sure, as far as if that's the right mentality or wrong mentality. But as a teacher, yeah, I want to see the best for all students. I don't want to see them just kind of having a few little ideas that they've strung together wrong. Just get a systematic way of learning. So long story short, that's why I haven't posted on YouTube in a while, but I'll probably get back into it. All right, with that being said, I hope the stream went well, and I will see anybody who wants to take lessons from me. You can contact me on nicksdrumlessons.com, and I will see you then. Bye.